Okay, let's run.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote. This is a weekly show where we introduce you to some of the best creators from all over the world, but we find out more about them by taking your questions. I am your host, Ryan of And I Quote channel, and our guest on this episode is someone he's been on once, but it's been a minute. And you know what, these days, Sydney, you gotta make a sequel. So with that being said, please welcome one of the members of the creative community over there at Hound Comics, the man who doesn't have to pay anything, because this is Dan Pay the Full Price. Hey. He's in the building today. What's up, Dan? Good to see you.
That's awesome, dude. That's one of the best intros I've ever had. Paid full price. I like it. Let's do it. Let's go.
There's your new moniker. We'll put it on a t-shirt for you. We'll send it over down to the great state of Texas for you.
Dude,
we promise.
I love it, man. And then, well, it's like Macho Man Randy Savage. It's gonna be Dan Pay the Full Price. I'm gonna like it, dude. That's gonna work for me. Cool.
It's funny you say that, because we use clips from some of Macho Man, one of the Macho Man's promos in one of our other shows that we do. Specifically Freewheeling Fridays, part of the Mass Entertainment Group. The first thing you see during the course of that intro is the cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. Because he is the cream that rises to the top, such as you and the crew over there at Homebrew Comics. So for someone who is unfamiliar with the name Dan Pay the Full Price, I'm just curious. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, sure, no worries. So my name is Dan Price. I am Pay the Full Price, and I am I'm a member of Homebrew Comics. I'm the marketing guy over there, and I'm also the creator, co-writer, and artist on the book BIGFOOT Knows Karate. BIGFOOT Knows Karate. Well, I'm talking about myself real quick. I've been creating comics since 2007. I took a break for a few years raising my kids and family and stuff like that, and then came back to it during the lockdowns. And so I started doing BIGFOOT Knows Karate in 2021, and just been going since. With that, I love it, man. I love making comics, dude. It is my passion. It is what I enjoy doing, and couldn't be happier to be here today talking about BIGFOOT Knows Karate, man.
Wax off. Show me sand the floor. Sorry. I got Cobra Kai Never Dies on the brain right now. I don't know why.
Absolutely. Did you watch it?
Well, here's the funny thing. I've seen seasons 1 through 5 of Cobra Kai, but I've yet to see the final season 6.
Okay.
So I don't try not to ruin anything for me. But
no.
I didn't get into Cobra Kai until a little while ago, because my brother kept telling me over and over again, like, you have to see this. You have to see this. If you like the Karate Kid, you're gonna love Cobra Kai even more. And I said, I don't know, man. Like, I got all this other stuff going on. But finally, I planted myself down. I actually went to a place called Target, and I got seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. Watched the first 2 seasons, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, how did this work? How could this possibly work for a property that's 40 years old to be rebooted, right? To be continued to a certain extent, and you have all these familiar faces all coming back, but yet they still add layers to the story that we didn't see before. That is unheard of, right?
I fell in love with it immediately.
It's a very hard thing to do, but I love the first 2 seasons. And then I went to my local library. I checked out seasons 3, 4, and 5. I watched them. I looked over the footage with a fine-tooth comb, and I thought, this is one of the best things in TV history I've seen in a long time. So my hats are off to all the cast and crew of Cobra Kai. Sorry, I haven't seen season 6 yet. I will get to it, I promise. And then also we got the movie coming out here pretty soon. Karate Kid Legends is coming out, which is a crossover between the reboot that nobody asked for and nobody wanted, pure as day, with Jackie Boy Chan, who apparently is still making movies. I mean, the guy's like 700, 800 years old, and he's still doing it. Well done, Jackie Chan, because I grew up watching you in Rush Hour, Jackie Chan's First Strike, Rumble in the Bronx, and yet you're still making karate movies. That's insanity. And not only that, Dan, I don't know if you heard the news or not, but Jackie Chan's in this. Ralph Macchio comes back. Right. And not only that, Ming-Na Wen is in this thing. Okay? Ming-Na Wen, I've known her as Chun-Li Zan from Street Fighter for over 30 years, brother. So, I mean, you got everybody in this movie, Karate Kid Legends. Are you going to see the movie when it hits theaters here pretty soon?
I never saw the reboot. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch the reboot. I never saw the Jackie Chan,
Okay.
and I never saw the next Karate Kid.
Oh, which
So
was Hilary Swank's turn.
yeah, with
Yeah.
the Hilary Swank one, I never saw those. So I'll
What is
need to go. I'll need to go watch the Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith one first, I think,
Mhm,
and then yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at this stage, when the original one came out, the original reboot movie
Yes.
came out, I was like, I'm not going to watch that. And I never did, and it was not anything, I was like, oh, I'm a purist and, I'm tired of reboots and things like that. But one thing I learned watching Cobra Kai was I'm open to watching, I want to see Legends or whatever it's called.
Right.
So,
The Legends. Yeah.
so I will go back and watch it just for that reason alone. So,
That's sounds like a wonderful idea, and we're behind you 100%.
well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Which is go to your friendly neighborhood Alamo Draft House. I'm sure you can watch the movie there at some point or another.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Do they have Alamo where you live?
They do, but it's a bit of a drive for us here in
Okay.
the state of Maryland. For those of you who live in the Northeast, you know what I'm talking about. But a friend of mine who lives where the Alamo Draft House is, I believe it's in Fairfax, Virginia, or near Fairfax, Virginia.
Mhm.
She said, "Oh, it's fantastic. You got to go. It's phenomenal." I'm like, "Well, it's a drop," but then again, like she's one of my good friends, and we're big
Sure.
movie fans and things of that nature. So, if an opportunity presents itself and I can fit it into my schedule, because my schedule's pretty crazy, guys, I will do my best to make it out to an Alamo Draft House because I've heard nothing but good things about that particular venue. So,
Oh, yeah. Now, for anybody who has not been to the Draft House, let me say it was started here in Austin, I believe.
Oh, it was?
Their headquarters are here.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I've probably been to the Draft House, I don't know, a few dozen times. I mean, it's where we go to see movies for the most part. And the food's great. The service is awesome. The food is great, and they have great, amazing pre-roll before the movie. So if there's something, if say you're going to go see a Batman movie, then they're going to have all this crazy pre-roll ahead of time. And maybe it's just in the Austin locations, I don't know, but they'll have like Batman cartoons and Batman SNL sketches or whatever ahead of time, and it always just makes it a lot of fun. We actually went to a quote along one night at the Alamo Draft House. They were quoting Coming to America, the Eddie Murphy Arsenio Hall movie.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was amazing. So they quoted along with that, and so we went. We had an amazing dinner that was like themed to Zamunda, and they gave us Zamunda flags and a bottle of Soul Glow. And it was just hilarious. And you got to quote along, and they put like the words on the screen for those who weren't sure exactly what the quotes were. And it was a lot of fun. So love the Draft House. They always, this is not a paid ad or anything like that, but they definitely make it interesting to go to the movies.
Wow, that's really cool stuff. One of the things I remember about was it Coming to America, and this is something we haven't used this yet, guys, but maybe we will use it somewhere down the line here or in our particular studio. Is on where it says, "I am very happy to be here." Amen. Amen. Yes, sir.
It's one of my favorite movies. I have an original movie poster of yes. I have two original movie posters. I have an original from Coming to America, and I have a Godfather movie poster.
Wow, look at you, man.
Yeah, so my wife got those for me for holidays.
Oh,
yeah, she's the best.
I mean, like the song says, "You're the best around. Nothing in the world can get." It's just Shout out to the missus there, Mrs. Price out there in the great state of Texas. My gosh, dude, that's great. That's insane.
Yeah,
originals of that. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh no, we're huge Coming to America fans. It's one of our favorite movies.
I had no idea.
Coming to America 2 came on, on Hulu or whatever it was, or Amazon.
It was either that or Paramount Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Something I don't remember, but we
watched
watched
that. It was Amazon. I think it was Amazon.
Yeah, we watched that, and we couldn't stop laughing because we kept calling it a high school reunion. It was like going to a high school reunion and just like catching up with old friends. Yeah. And we were laughing, and we kept pausing it and rewinding it. And we've only watched that one once, but it was just such a funny experience watching it with her because she loves Coming to America so much. And I love it so much that it was just it took us 3 hours to watch an hour-and-a-half movie because we kept laughing and pausing and quoting and just whatever. It was stupid, but it's great.
Wow, I'm discovering new things about Dan Price here. This is amazing stuff. Once again, this is, and I quote, don't forget to like and share. If you have any, if you're watching us live on the replay, thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for Dan Price, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. Now you got me thinking, what is your top 5 favorite movies of all time aside from Coming to America? So what are the other 4?
Oh, well, number 1 is The Godfather, pure and simple. It is, to me, my favorite movie. I can watch it pretty much, whenever. I think, well, actually, there's a difference between favorite movies and movies that I can watch whenever, because movies I can watch whenever would be like, would be like A League of Their Own, or
Oh
That
my
Thing
gosh,
You Do.
yes.
Yeah, have you ever seen That Thing You Do? That's an amazing movie as well. Both of them, those are movies that, like, whatever I'm doing, if they come on TV, I will stop what I'm doing and I will finish watching the movie. It's that good.
Rockford Peaches, baby.
Oh yeah,
Peaches. Come on now.
And I'm a sucker for baseball movies anyway. I mean, I don't know what
if you build it, he will come. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. I mean,
don't forget about that one, man.
No. That's fantastic. And the Kevin Costner baseball trilogy. You have Field of Dreams, you have Bull Durham, and
For the Love of the Game, I think it is.
For the Love of the Game, yeah. And all three solid movies. So, yeah, all three solid movies. But no, favorite movies. Empire Strikes Back. That'd definitely be up there too. I love that movie.
We're doing a 45th anniversary watch along for that on Friday.
Are you really?
Yeah, you better tune in and say hi to us in the chat rooms.
Absolutely, on Friday.
Friday night, 7:00 Eastern time. By the way, folks.
Okay, I will check that out. That's
45th,
awesome.
45th anniversary. We're gonna have myself. It's gonna be Case. It's gonna be Brennan. It's gonna be Chris, and I think our friend Pal is gonna be joining us as well. It's gonna be 5 people, the most amount of people we've ever had on a watch along in history. So, because it's Empire. It's 45 years young, brother. So we're going to be here on Friday night, May 30th, 7:00 Eastern. Dan, I think you and your team over there at Homebrew Comics should tune in and say hi to us.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, it's funny. I went to the opening night of Empire.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a little kid. My dad took me to go see Empire at the Alabama Theater in downtown Houston. Woo. And went to that. And then, and I remember that. And I was only a little one. I mean, I was a week.
I was going to say, you remember this like it were yesterday?
No, I don't want me not yesterday, but I remember the hell out of it. I mean, I remember going to the movies and getting to see it. It was amazing. It was amazing. I love Empire Strikes Back, dude. I had Empire Strikes Back wallpaper in my room when I was a little kid. Oh yeah, no, it's a dope wallpaper. Wallpaper. You remember that? Yeah,
well, anyway. I had race car, I think, or something themed wallpaper when I was a youngin'. Just to be perfectly honest with you, Dan, because So it's Empire. What was it? Coming to America, League of Their Own. What you got? I think you got 2 more spots or 1 more spot. You got.
Yeah, definitely The Godfather. Probably The Godfather 2, because it's just as good as the original. I'm not.
Fredo.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, let's round it out with that for now. I could probably come up with more. You know what? Here's another good one. Yeah. Defending Your Life. Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep. If you've never seen it, definitely watch it. It's an incredible movie about a guy who dies and is sent to purgatory to defend his life. And it's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, no, it'll change the way you think of the universe, and with no intention to do so, but it totally will. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And you said it was Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep is in that?
Yep. And it's called Defending Your Life.
Okay, we got to look this up, guys. Send it to us. If you know where it's streaming, send a link to us. We know what we're doing. Interesting. I've never heard of this one. But favorite scene in Empire Strikes Back? What is it?
Oh.
Favorite scene, brother. Come on.
Okay. I mean, does it really beat the scene with Vader versus Luke and
pretty good.
It's one of the best lightsaber duels.
Pretty good. As soon as he shows up in the elevator and you hear that voiceover in the background, I mean,
yeah, man, that's awesome. When they go into when they're on Cloud City, Bespin, and they go into the Lando's talking about the deal, and they go into the room and Vader's standing there. And he stands and they shoot, and he just,
everything.
Oh yeah, it's great. I don't know, man. I mean, it's just a good movie. I could sit here and dissect it for hours. I enjoy that one. Rogue One was another good one too.
Heck yes, man.
Yeah. That was a strong movie.
I don't care what anyone says. I love Rogue One. I'm always going to love Rogue One, 100%.
Oh yeah. I even like Solo. I mean, I'm pretty easy when it comes. Yeah, I'm pretty easy when it comes to the newer Star Wars movies. I did not enjoy the prequels. Yeah. Well, I didn't. I mean, but
we've talked about prequels numerous times on not just this show, but also on the Star Wars themed show that we do called the Nerdy Cantina.
Okay.
And we've had debates with all our friends, all the people who've come through the doors of our studio, which, by the way, we love you all, and we love talking to every single one of you. It's just that some people are, in fact, prequelists, so they defend them, and that's fine. But It's just for me, I look at them, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what movies you were watching, but it's not me.
It's generational. It's totally generational.
It's very different. It's very different. For some people, it was their entry point into Star Wars, and that's fine. Listen, I have no problem about that. Some of my best friends say that they love the prequels, and because it was the way they started watching Star Wars, and that's fine.
Sure.
But when I look at all three, for me, from my perspective of being a 90s kid, and granted, when I was in the 90s, I watched all the prequels and I thought they were cool too. But looking back on them now, 20 years later, because Revenge of the Sith turned 20, which is insane.
Wow.
I can look at them and say, okay, there were moments in Phantom Menace that I really enjoy, and honestly, I can enjoy Phantom Menace and just turn my brain off for a minute, so that's cool. But 2 and 3, oh my gosh, I'm like, what were they doing? I can't. I just can't. But you've heard me say this enough, folks.
Yeah.
Not a fans of episodes 2 and 3. I'm okay with 1 because Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's relationship is fantastic. Liam
Sure.
Neeson as a Jedi is badass, right, Dan?
Mhm.
And then the
Yeah,
scene
I'll
at the
agree with
very end
that.
between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth freaking Maul is iconic. Okay,
Yeah,
because
that's a great battle.
we had never seen something like that up to that point. So my hat's off to Ray Park. My hats are off to Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, all the people who worked on that. I will like Phantom Menace, but the other two, no.
Yeah, so
I can't do it.
I'm not a fan of Phantom Menace, and
Which
I'm
is
really
fine.
not, and I'm not a fan of the other two either.
Yeah.
I'll give Revenge of the Sith a little credit, just a little credit, you
Mhm.
know,
Why is
a
that?
wee bit of credit, just because it was a darker film and I enjoyed
Way
that.
darker.
But it was not a good movie. I mean, I like these sequel movies better than I like the prequels, and the sequel movie. Here's the thing: as I've gotten older and I create more stuff, I'm like, I disassociate the need to get angry about movies and shows and things like that, because it's not my script. I didn't write it. I didn't produce this thing. This is the story they wanted to tell. Like it or not, that is what they wanted to do. And so I just roll with the punches when that, most of the time. Now that I don't like Ryan Reynolds, and I'll be very vocal about that. And so Deadpool movies just are not my thing. But you just roll with the punches with these things and don't get pissed off, because when people say to me, you know what you should do with Bigfoot Knows Karate, and no, I don't, and I'm good with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely understand. The other thing is, and we're going to be discussing this later on this year too. Sorry to get into a bit of a programming piece of material here for you, Dan, but Force Awakens turns 10. And we're going to be celebrating that in December, because I saw it 6 times in the theater. Love Force Awakens. Always going to love Force Awakens. I don't care that people say it's a rehash of New Hope. I don't care, because it's a great movie.
Favorite of the 3.
It's exciting. It's adventurous. It's fun. I mean, John Williams comes back all these years later to compose the score for all 3 of them, which is fantastic. We love you, John. I mean, Force Awakens turns 10, and then next week we're celebrating 45 years of Empire. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan, brother. There's no harm in it. So, there are moments in the sequel trilogy that, obviously Force Awakens and Rogue One, for me anyway, in the movie span of things, those are the best things to come out of the Disney era of Star Wars, is Force Awakens and Rogue One. Now, the TV stuff, that's a whole other discussion, because there have been mixed bags. There are things that have worked. There are things that have not worked.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian's going to be turned into a movie. It's coming out next year. I'm excited to see Mandalorian and Grogu, because I freaking love Mandalorian. And anytime someone drops the magic words on Dan, myself, or anybody in Texas or Maryland for that matter, this is the way, we're going to talk about it, because this is the way is one of the most badass phrases in all of history. So, looking forward to that, though. Mandalorian looks good.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, and I got to be honest with you. After that, I kind of checked out on the Star Wars shows. I'm interested in checking out Andor, because I did watch 1 episode of Andor, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I tried to watch Book of Boba Fett, couldn't get into it. I tried to watch Obi-Wan, couldn't get into it. Yeah. So I have not seen Ahsoka. What is it? That's what's called, right?
It's Ahsoka.
My God.
It's okay. I'm here to help, guys.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I'm
not
the
full name of the character.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to see. I'll check that out eventually.
Sure.
I just don't have. I watch very little television. You know what I mean? Like, I watch Seinfeld reruns at night to go to bed, and we're watching Severance right now. And that's really good. Have you heard of that?
I think I have, but remind me, who's in the cast?
It's Adam Scott. And it's a Apple TV show. And he has he works for this company, and when he's there, he just is his work self. Yeah. And when he goes home, he's just his home self. He does not remember what he does one to the other in the other life.
Really?
Okay, and it's called being severed. Okay, when you work for this company. Okay, and so it's Ryan, it's a new, original, and unique idea on television.
And Adam
That is
Scott
so
is at the
rare.
front of
It's
it.
so rare. Adam Scott, check it out. Severance.
Severance.
It's one of those things you watch it and go, why didn't I think of that?
All right,
It's
we got to write this
original
one
and
down,
unique.
guys.
Congratulations to the team who does that
Scott.
show, because it's brilliant.
Severance. All right, we got to write this one down. We'll get on it as soon as we can, of course. Don't get me wrong. Wow. Okay, this is interesting stuff. I gotta tell you, man, I haven't. This is what happens when friends haven't seen each other for such a long time. We learn all these things, and then we want to pass them on to the next person we meet up with. In this case, it just happens to be moi, and Dan's got so much knowledge, way more than I could ever possess. Hence the reason he's the VIP of the show here, and not me. With that being said, I mean, before we dive into, because I want to know more about what's going on with Bigfoot Knows Karate here, but before we get to that, are there been any indie comics or Kickstarters that have really blown your mind outside of the things that you and the crew over there or Homebrew Comics are doing that you've read that you really enjoyed?
Dude, War Lion funded. I'm stoked about that. That is Henri Copan's book. I love the first 2 issues, so I'm really excited about that one. I got Bounty in the mail from Jerry Cooley recently. It's on my stack just to read. This is the first issue, but I loved what he did with End of Days, so I'm excited about that one. What else do I have around here? Because I have stacks. What else? Trying to think of, I mean, Crit. I'm up to date on Crit, and I just read all of Caspian Porter recently because I wanted to get caught up with that, and that's hilarious. That's Drew Lenhart's book. It's like a kind of a Han Solo like space delivery guy, and he just makes bad choices all the way through, and ends up going through this wormhole. Long story short, he ends up going through this wormhole to like prehistoric Mars. You've got to check this book out. It's pretty crazy. Crit, another homebrewed book by Chris Saloff. You got to check this one out too. I know I'm sounding like I'm just pitching our books, but these are stuff I just read recently or I've been reading for a while. Crit, I've been following for a good long time. Constantly running into trouble. You got to check that out. It's based on a D&D campaign that Chris and his friends play, and everything that happens in the game or in the comic is based on a roll of a dice that happened in a homebrew D&D superhero campaign. So both worth checking out. The other thing I would definitely mention right now, God, you put me on the spot on this one.
That's what happens when I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, man, I know. And I like, do you know how many comics that's been? You
probably
know how many
50,000
Kickstarters I've
like
backed for it since then? It's probably be 40 Kickstarters, 50 Kickstarters since then.
Will occurs.
So, oh my God, yeah, no. At this point, I'm a super backer.
Super backer? Is that what they label you if you support a lot of
Kickstarter? They label you on Kickstarter if you've backed. I'm like 180 Kickstarters deep at this point. Yeah, dude. I mean,
I was gonna say here I am I can only support so much, but
absolutely,
I've supported like maybe 5, maybe 10.
Sure.
So far, which is great because I love supporting all of them. I mean, whether it's Phil, whether it's who else have we talked about here, fellas? I'm trying to think. Phil had a Papa come out, so that's great. Yeah. Phil Publishing, check him out, he's great. What was another one that we backed? We backed the Madcaps by Ray Jameson. He's got a good thing going right now.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some good stuff going on. So it's been fun to support these kind folk because when you see the passion show through their interviews or their promos, you're like, damn, I'm buying what this guy's selling.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, I backed recently. I backed Let's Hunt Monsters by Brock Frey and his crew.
Mm-hmm.
I got packed that one. I'm on my Kickstarter now, so I can actually see what I've done.
I'm like, wait a minute. Let me look at my Rolodex here, Ryan. Give me a second.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've got this is a new one that came out. This is a new thing. I don't know anything about it. It's called Made in Delco by Jimmy Gasparo. Mm-hmm. And I know Jimmy. He's with Comic Book Yeti, and I met Jimmy 3 times at this point. So that's really cool. Orson Welles' Warrior of the Worlds. That one is done by Milton Lawson. Milton is a Houston guy, actually. Big Astros fan. Go Milton, go Astros. And he did this book. That literally he's working with the Orson Welles family estate and putting out this book that supposes Orson Welles is like fighting the Martians. You know, it's absolutely incredible. I've read the first issue of it. Now he's just finished out the trade for this. So I'm really looking forward to that one too. Anything else? Oh, The Matron by Drew Edwards. and I can't remember the other cat's name, David Bowles. They wrote it. They co-wrote this book. It takes place here in Texas. It's based on like Czech folklore horror. And so it's really cool. And so that's coming out soon. If you're not familiar with Drew Edwards' work, he does Halloween Man, and he's about to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Halloween Man. So and I've had the pleasure of working on Drew's books. In fact, I did a piece of fan art for the Matron just for the fun of it, and they ended up IPI Comics ended up buying my fan art and using it for the issue 2 cover. So that's pretty fun. Yeah,
jeez, man, you what a Rolodex, this one might say.
And that's just what I backed recently. I mean, like I said, there's
man,
tons of this stuff.
Everything is bigger and better in Texas. Clearly, the bank account of Dan Price is massive because there's no way I can afford to. No offense, but it's just like I can't sit here and back 180 camp as much as I would like to. Sure. I would love to do that if money were as a wise person once said, well, if money were no object, things would be a lot easier. Yeah, true. But of the Kickstarters that you and I and everyone else that's watching or listening to this have backed, we're excited to get these books. We're excited to sit down and read them and all that kind of jazz. I mean, I got these 2 books behind me here. I don't know if you can see this, but the Memoirs of an Angel, The Great Pilgrim, written and illustrated by our good friend Brian Robin. I backed his Kickstarter for that. This was originally going to be a comic, but then he turned it into a prose book, which is fantastic. Think of it as The Exorcist meets Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
What the premise of this is. So if you're into horror stuff like that, you may want to go to brianrobin.com and pre-order a copy of that. So that's Brian Robin's Memoirs of an Angel, The Great Pilgrim. And then this one is Gideon Kane, Demon Hunter, which is a wink and a nod to Solomon Kane. Hunting down demons, taking down bad dudes, sending them back to hell, excuse me. And this is edited by Van Allen Plexico of White Rocket Books, Dan. White Rocket Books. And the introduction is done by Kurt Busiek from the comic industry. Kurt Busiek did an introduction for this. So if you like demon hunting or you're into the Exorcist meets Lord of the Rings type stuff, look up these 2 writers, brianrobin.com and White Rocket Books on Amazon. Check them out, guys. So there you go. They're free plugs, man. Free plugs. So I don't know if Dan, if you're into that sort of stuff, Angels versus Demons, but if you want to check out that stuff, you might want to look that up.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Good friends of ours too. Brian Robin, Van Allen Plexico. We wish you guys all the best. We love you. And once again, this is Andy Quote with the guest of honor, Dan Pay the price. Don't forget to, we got to slap this on a shirt, guys.
Oh yeah, this is getting a bumper sticker for sure.
We got to make a bumper. Something in your next Kickstarter has to happen.
Oh yeah.
No. We get you, me, and Chris. We got to sit down and talk about this kind of stuff. But like and share this with your friends. If you're watching us live on the replay, thank you for doing so. Hello there. And if you have any questions for Dan, let us know in the comments or the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We love interacting with you guys. With that being said, outside of the comic book stuff that's been going down recently, any comic book-based movies or TV series you've seen recently that have stood out to you? Or has it just kind of like been crickets?
Yeah, it's crickets right now. And I'll tell you why. I finally watched Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For.
Oh, yeah.
I finally got around to watching that one. I enjoyed it. I'm a big Sin City fan, though, in the first
I have both
place,
on DVD. I love them.
Oh, yeah. No, I have all the trades right over there. I am a big Sin City fan. So finally getting to sit down and watch that one. I thought Clive Owen was better as White, yeah. But that's okay. I just like Clive Owen, but I like Brolin as well. He's good. Beyond that, let me think. No, I kind of burned out on comic book movies a few years ago. Honestly, I did see Wonder Woman. I thought that was pretty good. My last Marvel movie I truly enjoyed was Black Panther. I did like the Batman. I thought that was good, but that was a few years ago now. I will watch the sequel to that one when that comes out. I will watch the new Superman coming up. I definitely will check that out because I was not a fan of Cavill or any of the stuff that DC was doing for a few years there. So checking that out for sure. And there was one other superhero movie that was sounding good that I wanted to check out. It definitely wasn't Thunderbolts. I know that because people are really enjoying it. But me personally, I read Thunderbolts from #1 for quite a long time. And the Zemo stuff to me is far more interesting than what they did turning the Thunderbolts just into the Suicide Squad. So that's where I kind of stand on that stuff right now.
Understood, brother. Understood. I get
Sure.
it. I can understand that. No problems there. But no, I'm curious to see where this new Superman goes, man. I mean, I'm a diehard DC and Superman fan. So
Are you? Yeah.
Well, I've been a Superman fan since the TV series Smallville during its midway run in 2000 and I want to say 2006 when it was in the middle of season 5. That's when I really became a Superman fan.
Yeah. Did you watch Superman and Lois?
I watched the first season and then I dropped off. I was just kind of like too busy. I got caught up with stuff, and quite frankly, some of the stuff they were doing, and nothing against the cast. It's just, I don't know. Tyler Hoechlin just doesn't. He's wearing the suit, and it's like he's pretending to be super. He's not becoming it. I don't know. It's just something kind of rubbed me off a bit the wrong way. I don't know why. But and then they had the kids in there, and the kids had like subplots that were kind of reminiscent of my show Smallville. And I'm just like, why are we repeating this stuff?
Gotcha.
You know, Tom Welling, Erica Durance, all those guys, they did it so brilliantly for 10 years on Smallville. I was there from season 5 to the way to the end, and then I went back and I bought the DVDs and I caught up on seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 because, like I said, I didn't tune in until halfway through season 5. But yeah, no, I'm curious to see where this new Superman goes because this new guy, I have no idea who he is. Rachel Brosnahan, no idea who she is, but they look.
She's great.
But they look fantastic. Like from the footage that I've seen, Dan, of the footage that I have seen, I mean, I don't like the fact that CGI Crypto is in this because some things are better safe for the comic books and not a movie. I don't know what you're thinking here, Jamie Gunn, but if he's in every scene in the movie, this Crypto dog, I'm gonna check out immediately. Don't mess with me, man. Don't mess with me. But anyway,
I love it.
But
real quick,
Rachel
Brosnahan. Okay, she's amazing. Okay, she was on. What was that movie? That show with Kevin Spacey playing the politician?
Oh, was it House of Cards?
House of Cards. She was in House of Cards.
No kidding.
But then she starred in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes.
And if you have not seen that, that's an amazing show. That is so well written, historical fiction stuff. That's amazing. So yeah, I when I saw her that she's Lois Lane, I was like, let's go. That's cool.
Like I said in the trailer, I mean, I like the looks of these actors and actresses that are playing these roles. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. My concern is CGI Crypto. That's a big concern. Number
Mine
2,
too. I'm not a fan of Crypto, so
I could care less about the dog. Okay, I could care less. Keep the dog in the comics, guys. Keep the dog in the comics. There was a TV series that was on many years ago, and I watched reruns of it. It was Superboy from the Superpowers.
Oh yeah.
And they had Crypto in that, but that's because it was a kids show. It worked.
Sure.
This is live action. This is the real world. This is PG-13 stuff. Okay, I don't need a CGI Crypto, whatever. But my other concern about this movie, Dan, is that you got Hawk girls, you got Green Lanterns roaming around, you got Metamorphos roaming around, Lex Luthor's roaming around. There's a lot of characters in one little movie, so be very careful how you balance this, because if my boy, the Big Blue Boy Scout, gets left out in the cold, I'm going to have problems.
Now, I will say this. I am looking forward to Mr. Terrific. I am looking forward to Mr. Terrific. Okay,
he shows up.
Yeah, he's dope. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what that character does in live action. I am excited. I like Superman. I mean, I'm the Christopher Reeve movies are like serious for me, dude. And the first 2 especially. And I love the Donner cut as well. 3 and 4 I can take or leave, but I really do. But I enjoy those first 2 Superman movies really a lot. So first movie I ever went to go see was Superman.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't enjoy the magic words "kneel before Zod"?
Exactly.
Kneel come to me, son of
Terrence Stamp's a badass, man.
Yeah. And then he goes on to play the voice of Jor-El in the Smallville show, which is insane.
Huh.
Did you know that he was the voice of Jor-El the whole time Smallville was on the air?
Had no idea.
He was Jor-El. He was the voice. Yeah.
That's badass.
In the fortress, in the ship, or the Fortress of Solitude, whatever it was. He was the voice. I was like, this is ironic. Guy plays one of the worst villains, one of the best. I mean, best. I'm not saying this as a negative.
Sure.
Plays a huge villain in the Superman movies with Chris Reeve, and then years later he comes back as Jor-El. So you're playing both sides of the fence, Terrence. Make up your mind, brother. But he's great nonetheless.
He's awesome.
Yeah, Superman 2. We did a watch along for or no, did we? I don't think we did. No, we did. We did a watch along for Superman 2, the original theatrical cut for that one a couple weeks ago. We did that. That was fun. You may want to check out that footage. And then we did one. Did we do one for Superman the movie yet, guys? I don't think we did. We may want to do that somewhere down the line. Maybe in 3 years when the 50th anniversary comes up, we can do that. But yeah, we've done some Superman stuff in the past. It's on there. You can find it. It's on the Movie Nerds playlist or the DC Nerds playlist, in case you're wondering.
Okay.
That's been fun. Right. I mean, and it's funny you mentioned Superman, because DC's got a lot of stuff in the month of June. We got a lot of watch alongs coming your way for June. We got Batman Forever turns 30.
Love that movie.
I know. And then a week later, Batman Begins turns 20. So we're going to be doing a lot of DC deep dives in the next couple of weeks on the channel, folks. I think you may want to subscribe and ring that little itty bitty little bell to be to be notified. But outside of the great comic book movies or comic books, indie comics that the great creators out there in the world are putting out on Kickstarter, right, Dan? Let's talk about the giant Bigfoot elephant in the room. Bigfoot Knows Karate. What has been going on with this? So give us a previously on X-Men, and then what do we got to look forward to with this one?
Okay, so previously on Bigfoot Knows Karate, Benny was being, well, we'll call him Bigfoot for the moment. Bigfoot was being, he was, protector of the forest, protector of the little guy, and finds himself in a situation with a couple of hunters and gets shot. Quickly takes care of them, but finds himself in a situation where he needs to heal, and he meditates and transcends planes of existence, and comes across this harbinger who warns him of this great force that's coming towards him, and says the statement about until the father returns, and wakes up to only find nothing but Cthulhu standing in front of him, or as he calls him, Kung Fu Thulu. And they have the ultimate monster showdown. I mean, it's really Godzilla versus Kong meets Kill Bill with a twist. And what happens there is at the end of the fight, this mysterious man in black shows up and is able to subdue Benny. We find out that Bigfoot's name is Benny. He's able to subdue Benny, and this paramilitary organization comes down and takes Benny away. And to go from a creature that's completely secluded and where nobody knows him and nobody cares and nobody knows he exists, to go from that to completely incarcerated and surrounded by enemies. What's worse? So that's kind of the setup for the story, taking us into issue 2. Where is Benny now? He's on the run. I won't say more than that. We're learning more and more as we go. I mean, you've got characters like this harbinger who warns of trouble coming. This new this woman that he meets in the incarceration that he breaks free with, and named Iris. And there's this bunny that keeps following him around, and there's a chupacabra with a shotgun, and this man in black, and there's people above him. And what is it all about? What is happening here? And that's what we've been doing for the last couple of issues, issues 1, issue 2, and the prequel Hinagon that takes place in feudal Japan. We've just been setting things up that brings us here to chapter 3, where we really start to begin to answer questions. It's been exciting to be able to actually, not just leave breadcrumbs everywhere, but to actually be able to bring the story together and answer some of those questions while bringing in new ones. So I think that is always going to be, questions are always going to be a big issue to Bigfoot Knows Karate. I love shows like The X-Files and Lost and stuff like that, where they keep the questions coming and keep you wanting more. And so that writing style has definitely been something that Casey Allen, my co-writer, and I have been working with and bringing to the table. So that's what's going on with Bigfoot in the story. And then in the Kickstarter, we've just got so much more happening right now. It's incredible. And then also, but you got to stay on your toes, because we have another book coming out not long after this that'll be another one shot similar to Hinagon, that'll be called Bigfoot Knows Karate God Killer. And I can't wait to get to that, where we can be talking about that book freely as well.
Oh my God Killer. Last time I heard those words, Wonder Woman was talking about having a sword that was called the God Killer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was in the first one. She was mentioning that, there's this sword that she took from Themyscira before she left to go to overseas with what's his name, Steve Trevor, right? Chris Pine's character. So
okay,
it's a God Killer.
Oh, well,
like, oh, hello. There's a sword that can kill Greek gods. This is kind of cool, right? I mean, who doesn't love a good sword fight, right?
Absolutely.
I like swords, right? Don't you like swords? I like swords.
Sure.
Fights. I think they're the best things that happen in comics.
I have a Bigfoot that has swords himself. So in Hinagon, we found out that he was gifted these swords in Hinagon that are called the Tide Slayers, and that can cut through water. I mean, it's it's pretty incredible. The thing about Bigfoot Knows Karate that's cool is the character has lived a very long time. He has been we haven't explained how far, but he's lived a long time, and we've taken him as far back as feudal Japan so far, and there's more to go. We're peeling back layers of the onion is how I look at this a lot. We're not revealing an origin story. One of the things I loved about Wolverine for the longest time, that he was shrouded in mystery and we didn't know anything about him. Now he's got like 11 kids, and we know his name, his social security number, all that stuff. He doesn't even smoke anymore. Neither does Bigfoot, but that's not the point. The idea of keeping it shrouded in mystery for as long as we can seems more interesting, and to reveal portions of the origin over time just seems like more of a better storytelling method than just going, here he is. No more mystery left. Why even keep bother reading?
Isn't one of Wolverine's children X-23 or something like that? I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't keep up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I haven't read the current run of the comics. I just know that in the movie, the great movie, it still is to this day, almost 10 years later, which is insane to think about. Logan, X-23 was made, with some of Logan's DNA or the adamantium and all that stuff. I'm like, so I guess that means the little girl is his daughter, technically, because they used some of his DNA, and obviously they used the adamantium to put into her skeleton, as you can clearly see in the movie. When her claws come out, she just starts ripping guys apart. Nice. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl cannot be any more than 10 years old, and she can move faster, leaner, and just slice and dice anybody who gets in her way, including RKO himself, Randy Orton.
Oh, really?
Logan. She cuts Randy Orton's head off, throws it back towards the boss of the crew, which in this case is Boyd Holbrook's character. And I'm just like, what the heck how did that happen?
That's amazing.
It shocks me to no end, but Logan's a great film if you haven't seen it.
I have not. I'll have to check it out.
I
enjoyed
that Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie. Logan's one of the best comic movies of all time, brother.
Okay.
It's
I'll
solid.
have to check that out. I've heard
it is streaming on Disney Plus. # not sponsor of this program.
Okay.
But it is there.
All right.
If you want to, there's the regular theatrical cut, and then there's also a director's cut where it's black and white. There's a black and white version of Logan because they wanted to kick it old school. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of making this. I mean, granted, you can watch it however you wish. It has both the colored and the black and white versions, but that's an option on Disney Plus. And I thought, oh, I have that on my Blu-ray, but I guess you can also get it on streaming now.
Sure.
No, it's just have at it. Just what they say, right? To each their own. It's okay.
Absolutely.
It happens all the time. But congratulations on Bigfoot Knows Karate.
Thank you.
Benny. Yeah.
Benny. Yeah, that's his name. We learn a lot more about Benny as we go. He's a great character.
Well, that's good. As long as somebody doesn't come out of the shadows and say, let off some steam, Bennett.
No,
doesn't call him Bennett, or throws a knife or draws their knife and says, come on, Benny, let's party. Sorry. Commando references. Have you seen Commando?
I have. Long time ago. Long time ago. It was funny. We tried to rewatch Predator recently, and we both, and my wife and I, we got on the couch, both got comfortable. She's laying on this side, I'm laying on that side. And we put it on. We got about 5 minutes in. I guess we both fell asleep, and we woke up to the end. We were
no.
How was the movie? I don't know. I didn't see it. How about you? I didn't see it.
You and the missus have to go back and do this over again. You got to watch.
Yeah, we will. We watched a good movie last night. Drop. Have you heard of that one?
It's called The Drop or just Drop?
Just Drop. It's a suspense thriller movie. It was really good. Yeah, we watched with a friend last night. She was like, "We got to check this out." So we did.
Who's in the movie?
Good. No idea.
Not
one person I know.
Shoot. All right, because Drop sounds familiar, but I just can't place it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Drop. It was called Drop. I don't know that it was a big budget film or anything.
Do we know what's the synopsis?
So this woman goes on a blind date or not a blind date, but a like a Tinder date or something like
Tinder
that.
Date, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she goes to the state and starts getting drops on her phone. Okay, really? These strange drops on her phone, like, don't ignore my drops. If you don't do what I tell you, your son's gonna die. And his son's at home with the sister who's babysitting. And she's watching all this on her security cameras, where the guy has got him tied up or whatever, and this whole thing. And she's forced to go along with the with the plan of this mysterious person who's basically holding her kid hostage. So very interesting movie. I won't say more than that, but it was definitely a good suspense thriller.
Wow. Okay. Wow. More stuff we got to add to our to-do list, guys. I mean, you think this TBR list is going to solve itself? No, because this is all TBR, man. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I got little storage containers, like 15-quart, 18-quart storage containers full of TBR books, brother. I'm not even kidding you. I got Philbo. We were talking about our good friend Phil Russert earlier.
Yeah.
I got the Philbo omnibus over here.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I what do you call it? I backed the Kickstarter, which, by the way, I had to do that because he says you can only get the omnibus on this. You cannot get this anywhere else.
Sure.
Period. And I like Tragedy. I read the first 3 issues of Tragedy. I don't know if you're familiar with Tragedy, the thing he did. Tragedy is really good by Phil Russert, guys. That is some good stuff. You're looking for, don't get me wrong, Homebrew Comics is great. If you want some other great indie comics to support out there, check out Tragedy. Have you read Tragedy?
I have not.
It's really good. Phil Russert did a really good job with that.
I'll have to check it out because I've seen some of the stuff from it. It looks great. It really does.
It's been very, very good to me. Phil Russert, very, very good to me. You know, and I mean, in all honesty, Phil Russert, very, very good to everyone. You know, he's killing it right now with his indie publishing, and obviously he's got a deal where he's going to help with indie comics. I believe it's distribution, isn't it?
Yes, it's distribution. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything you're willing to share with us about what Homebrew Comics is going to be doing the next 5 or 10 years? What the plan is moving forward, and maybe some of the partnerships you're going to be putting together?
Well, so we are working with Philbo Distribution. So I know that Phil's got about 300 stores signed up right now to start working with them, and we still have about a little over a month before the catalog goes out. So it's pretty exciting stuff for sure. And really looking forward to working with Phil and getting the books out to people. I mean, that's the biggest thing is what can we do to get more people reading, Caspian Porter, Celestial Knight, Crit, Bigfoot Knows Karate, Tragedy, all of that stuff. There's so many great books that are going to be with Philbo. So really looking forward to how that's coming along for sure.
Exciting times, man. Exciting times.
Absolutely.
But I mean, this may sound like a maybe a not so interesting question, but I'll ask it anyway. You know that guidance counselor always used to sit you down and say, what's your 5-year plan? What do you got? So I'm just curious. Homebrew Comics and homebrewcomics.com. What's the 5-10-year plan here? What are we looking at?
5-10-year plan.
What are we looking at here, Kevin Feige?
We've got our next year kind of figured out for sure. We know what we're doing, with our distribution. We know what we're doing with our Kickstarters. We know where we're going with all of that stuff. What I can't, 5 years, 10 years, definitely, that's plans, dreams, and aspirations at that point. But we have some moves that we're making in the background for sure. Stuff I really can't talk about. I would love to, but there's some things that we're doing that are setting ourselves up for some success later on down the road. That's all I really can say right now. We all have the same aspiration, which is to see animation out of our projects. So I know that Chris is, dipped his toe or is dipping his toe right now into video games. And it's really cool. It's really cool what we've got in the hopper, but it's just going to take a little while for us to get there and a little less time, but still it's a while before we can talk about it.
You got to love those NDAs, guys.
Absolutely.
Love to tell you, but kind of see, if we tell you, we'd have to kill you.
Exactly. and nobody needs blood on their hands today.
No, not even Benny. Benny doesn't need Benny may get some blood.
Benny's covered in blood at all times.
Oh, is he?
God, all the time. Yeah,
okay.
he's covered. He's a mess.
Okay, just remember not to feed him after midnight. I'm just kidding. Exactly. I'm just kidding. That's a reference going back to the 80s.
Oh, yeah, that's a Gremlins thing, kids.
Don't feed him after midnight. No, but Bigfoot Knows Karate looks great, by the way. So we're very happy for you here. Absolutely. Here's something. If someone is interested in becoming an indie comic creator or a writer, what advice would you give to that person watching or listening to this right now?
Keep writing, keep reading, keep writing, and keep reading. Read everything. Read comics, read movie scripts, read it all. Very important that you do so. If you're not well read, then you're not going to write for shit. Pardon my language. Sorry. And read comics. I mean, if you want to write comics, read comics. It's amazing how many people come to me and say, I want to make comics. Well, what do you read? I don't read them. Then how are you going to learn the art form? there's a great book right now for people who are wanting to make comics called Panels up on Kickstarter. It's Comics Wellspring is the one who is putting that out. They have Jade Lauder doing illustrations. It's a really cool book, and it really walks you through the paces of how to make a comic book, from concept and creation to how to print it. Because one of the biggest hurdles that people face when they're making a comic is, well, how do I get it out there to people? How do I print the book? And so it goes through all the technical aspects of the whole thing. Definitely worth checking out. I would get a book. I mean, like, seriously, Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. If you're an artist, I recommend you check out Bern Hogarth's Dynamic Anatomy. But this new book, Panels, I think it's definitely worth checking out. So go look at it on Kickstarter. It's only got a few days left.
Ooh, nice. Are you referring to the Panels one only has a few days left on Kickstarter?
Yes, Panels only has a few days left.
All right. Fantastic stuff. When you get a chance, if you get a chance on Instagram, can you DM that to me and I can share with my friends of mine?
Panels has 6 days left. I can send that to you.
Why don't you? Can you do us a favor and put it in the private chat here on StreamYard?
Yeah,
I'm
doing
going
it right
to comments
now.
for everybody to look up here.
Yeah, just sent that to you in the private chat.
Let's see if we have it here. Let's take a look, guys. See if we can find it
Oh,
here.
it says it's failed to post. I don't understand.
Let's do this again. Take two, as one might say in
clear
Hollywood. Scratch that.
No, it's not sending to you, Ryan. I'll send it to you over Facebook or Instagram or something like that. Okay.
Silly Goose. Silly Goose's technology.
Oh, it's in the comments. That's why. Hold on. Private chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. There you go.
There. I was going to say.
There it is.
Gee,
Look at all
Willikers,
that technology knowledge.
There we go. We're going to put this in the comments for everybody here who's watching or listening to this right now, because I want you guys to check us out as well. There it is. Booyah. There it is.
Boom.
Thank you for sharing that, Dan. Yeah. You're the man. Dan's the man. We got to put that on a shirt too. Dan's the man. They pay the price. Dan pay the full price.com. We got to make it happen. Make it a reality. Chris Saloff, if you're watching this or listening, I know you are, Chris. I know you. Okay. Cool cat. He was actually on with us just last week.
Yeah. He said he had a good time.
Yeah, he had and by the way, I didn't know this about, what was it, Chris? Chris did a whole dissertation on Marvel and how they can make things either better or how they're doing it worse.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And I'm just like, Chris, buddy, pal, I had no idea you knew this much about Marvel and you had this much fire for it. And then I said to Chris, either before or after the show, I said, hey, Chris, we're doing a show called Top 5 Favorite MCU Movies coming up here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. You want to have a seat at the table for that and give us a list of 5 of your favorite MCU movies? It's like, absolutely, let's do it. I said, okay, because he's got all this Marvel knowledge stored in his mind, and I'm like, dang, Chris. So
it's awesome. Oh, one thing I forgot to say earlier, Fantastic Four. I want to see that movie too.
Oh yeah, the first, the early years, I think it's called, or the first steps, whatever it's called. Whatever it's called,
I don't know, but I want to see it.
Yeah, and Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, plays Reed Richards.
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic, if I remember correctly. The funny thing is about that casting is that not only Pedro Pascal being thrown in there, because I only think of him as Mandalorian. No offense, I haven't seen The Last of Us yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I know he's been in it, but Vanessa, I want to say her name is Vanessa Kirby, was in the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise, and now she's playing the Invisible Woman. Like, dang, girl, your career is going up.
That's awesome.
She plays the White Widow in the Mission Impossible films, and then she shows up as Sue Storm in the new Fantastic movie. And not only that, she was in a movie that nobody asked for and nobody wanted to see called Hobbs and Shaw from Fast and Furious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she played was it Jason Statham's sister or niece or something? I can't remember. It was something like that. And I thought to myself, okay, well, why are you in this? Nobody wants this. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But hey, you know what they say in Hollywood, right? Everybody needs a paycheck.
Absolutely. They say that in the world.
Well, that's true. I mean, we could use a duffel bag full of cash to help pay for our Comic-Con funds, Dan.
Absolutely.
You know how it is. It's not easy making green or making money. No. And there's an old saying too. I don't know, there was a Nick Cage movie that came out 20 years ago. You ever see a movie called Matchstick Men?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so Sam Rockwell turns to Nick Cage and says, you gotta make it, or no, it's a catch-22. Nick Cage says, you got to spend money if you want to make money. Yeah, but you got to make it to spend it, brother. So it's a catch-22.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It was a good movie. I think it's one of the best early 2000s movies. And also it's one of Nick Cage's best performances, wouldn't you say?
He's fantastic. I mean, he just always cracks me up, and you know, or not cracks me up, but he's versatile and he's Nick Cage all at the same time. So he's great.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, no, he's good. It's good stuff.
I was going to say one of our favorite movies. I believe this is on the schedule, if I'm not mistaken. Later this year in 2025, we're going to be celebrating Gone in 60 Seconds. Turns.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
That's my favorite Nick Cage movie.
Oh really?
Yeah. I love Matchstick Men. I love Matchstick Men, but I can go back and watch Gone in 60 Seconds any day of the week, because let me be perfectly honest with you here, folks. If you've been a fan for Fast and Furious for the last 25 years, just remember one very important thing. Gone in 60 Seconds made sure that Fast and Furious could run. Okay,
sure.
They were walking long before Fast and Furious can learn how to run. All right. If it weren't for Gone in 60 Seconds, we would not have gotten Fast and Furious, because look at the premise: beautiful cars, beautiful women, stealing cars, boosting stuff, middle of the night, breaking into people's places or dealerships, for that matter. Dan,
don't forget the chases.
Thrill of the chases, exactly. Yeah, thrilling chase sequences, right, Dan? Without Gone in 60 Seconds, you would not have gotten Fast and Furious. All right. So give credit where credit is due. And give my boy Nick Cage and the very beautiful Angelina Jolie some credit here, man. All right. I'm just throwing that out there. When was the last time you watched Gone in 60 Seconds? Has it been a minute?
Forever ago. You want to hear a fun Gone in 60 Seconds story, though?
No. Do you have one?
I have one.
What is it? What is the story?
Okay, so when I was living in the Dallas area, I was working for a company that did promotional items, things like that. One of my clients was a company that was called Unique Performance, and their job was to basically take old 1966 and 68 Mustangs and turn them into, what was the Eleanor? Is that what they called it in the movie?
Eleanor, yeah, it was a 1967 Shelby 500.
Yeah, they made the Eleanors.
Ooh.
Okay, they restored these old cars and turned them into Shelby Mustangs.
Wow,
that's what they did. So
awesome.
My contact over there, I'd go over there every once in a while, and my contact over there said to me one day, so we got a couple of them in the back. I said, cool. She goes, you want to take one for a drive? I said, yes. Yes, I do. And I get in the car where she's in the passenger seat. I'm in the front seat. I'm in the driver's seat. And I turn that thing on, you know, the power, you can feel it. And I've never been good at stick shift. Okay. You know, I mean, it takes a while to get used to that. And so I get, you know, rev the engine a little bit and, start to do it. And then would immediately stall, start the car again, gas pedal down, doing the clutch and all of that shit, stall.
Jeez.
Man, I couldn't have looked less cool, driving that car. And I eventually got it, and we took it for a spin, and it was cool. But yeah, that's a lot of power in that car, and working that clutch with that gas. It was I had a clutch for years, and I mean it was fine, I guess. But man, that was different trying to drive that muscle car. You know what I mean? It was fun. It was fun. Once I got it going, and it was nice. But didn't get to take it too fast or anything like that, but still to be able to say I got to drive an Eleanor 68, Shelby Mustang was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, that is cool, man. I'll give you credit where credit is due. And there's actually a lot of great shows I've been told in the Texas area. There's Houston, was a Comic Palooza. It goes down every year, and a lot of people bring their cars out there where they're very nerdy fandom-like cars, right? And trucks. There's a lot of trucks that pull into these Comic Cons with their decals and the way they customize their vehicles. Have you seen some of these?
Oh yeah. No, I do Comic Palooza most every year. I'm skipping it this year. I'm doing Bedrock City Comic Con in lieu of. But Comic Palooza has a huge car show. And I honestly, I've been all the years I've been to Comic Palooza, I never walked over there just because I'm over in the artist alley doing my thing. And but this year I walked it with my big brother. He came to come visit me, and we went and walked the show. I was impressed by all the different cars they had. I mean, Ghostbuster mobiles, Ecto ones, whatever they call them. From DeLoreans, and Doc Brown time machines and all that stuff, just to muscle cars. I mean, just stuff that you wouldn't see normally. So very concept cars, stuff like that. Definitely worth checking out if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you got a need for speed, ow, there's a
Absolutely.
Top Gun reference for you.
Oh yeah, I'm hip.
Which I don't know if this is true or not, but there was I think Tom Cruise came out with a report, or maybe it's a rumor. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but they're going to make sequels to both Top Gun and Days of Thunder is going to get a sequel.
Oh
Which
no, I thought Days of Thunder was the Top Gun sequel.
so did I, but
Hey, what a story.
I think he may be making more of them. I don't know how that's going to work, but hey, listen, if anybody can do it, Tom can do it. I mean, he's got Final Reckoning out right now with Mission Impossible coming to a
Sure.
close, which is causing a major stir at the
Is
box
it?
office right now. A lot of people, my friends have been giving us their non-spoiler. By the way, this is non-spoiler. They've been really enjoying it. So, I mean, they said the beginning's a bit scratchy, but after that, it really gets going. But
Sure.
you know, I've been a fan of Mission Impossible. Those movies are awesome and insane at the same time. Looking forward to seeing what happens with that. With that being said, I want to
Yeah.
take this opportunity to say thank you to Dan Price for being our guest on this week's episode of A Night Quote. Dan, it's been great seeing you.
You
It's a
as
great
well,
catching up with you.
Ryan. Thanks for having
Clearly,
me.
you know more about sports and automobiles than I could possibly fathom. You've driven freaking Eleanor, okay? I've
was
loved that movie for 25 years, brother. And the fact that you've sat in and driven an Eleanor that Nick Cage potentially drove while making that film, I'm like, oh my gosh. See, this is another reason why I need to get down to the great state of Texas to see this stuff and go to Comic Palooza, see my friends in Katy, see my friends in Houston, see them in Dallas, whatever it is, see you and your loved ones and hang out and have a good time.
I'll tell
This
you
is
what,
gonna
if you
happen.
make it to a Comic Palooza and we're there at the same year, I'll take you for some of the best Mexican food of your life. How's that sound?
I think we should go down there and see that.
All right, sounds
That
good.
sounds like a good
I'll be
idea.
at Bedrock City. I'll be at Bedrock City in October for a comic convention, and so that's going to be good. That's going to be a big show. Actually, I'm really excited
Is
about it. So I've never done that show before, so I'm really. They're kind of doing their own thing, more comic centric from Comic Palooza. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
That is a beautiful thing. But Dan, once again, thank you for being here. If someone wants to know more
Thank you.
about you and Bigfoot Knows Karate, where can they follow you on social media?
You can follow me at Danomite139 right here, wherever it is, right there. You can see me on Danomite139 on Instagram and Blue Sky. You can also catch me on TikTok too. And then, if you want more information about Bigfoot Knows Karate and Homebrew Comics, go to homebrewedcomics.com. If you want a deeper dive on Bigfoot Knows Karate, once you're done at Homebrewed, go over to bigfootknowskarate.com. So yeah, that's where you can find me, and I can't wait for you to find me. Also, there's a Bigfoot Knows Karate Facebook group. We're 450 strong, so come over and say hi.
Sounds like a wonderful idea. Congratulations to you, kind sir. I'm going to talk to you here again momentarily. So in the words of Arnold, stick around. There's an Arnold quote for you, Dan. Had to toss it in for you, man. I had to toss it in for you. My name is Ryan of And I Quote Channel. Follow us across all forms of social media, simply at, I should say, And I Quote Channel. Links to where you can follow myself and Dan Price, the Kickstarter, are located in the description of this video below. So make sure you check those out. A lot of great things are coming your way very soon. We are on the road, ladies and gentlemen, on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Once we do, we'll have a great big live stream that will include special giveaways that you, the person who is watching or listening to this right now, are going to be eligible to win. Also, we got merch in our Redbubble store that's on sale. We got shirts, we have hoodies, we have stickers that you can add to your water bottles, we have coffee mugs, we have stationery, all kinds of wonderful things that are on sale right now. Link is in my link tree and on our social media bios. Check us out there. Check out some of the great merch we got available to you. There's got to be something you can add to your wardrobe or your repertoire, as one might say. Just to give you a heads up on programming, movie watch-alongs are on Friday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I Quote is on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And don't forget, the Writer Showcase is once a month. The newest episode is Saturday, May the 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So join us for that. And if you miss it live, you can always go back, check out the replays. We have our playlist for each of our respective shows. And we're going to get, one of these days, I think Dan Price is going to be on some of our Star Wars related shows, because he apparently knows a lot more about Empire than I do. Loves some of the things that I like. I think there's a bit of there's a similarity going on here, Dan. We're simpatico here, so that could work. Don't be surprised if you see Dan Price of Homebrewed Comics show up on the Nerdy Cantina, or maybe he'll join us in the holiday season in December when we celebrate 10 years of The Force Awakens. Dan, does that sound good to you? Probably, maybe, I don't know. We'll find out. That's the only thing you can do now is like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified of when the videos go up or they go live. And remember, life is better when supporting indie creators from all over the world. take a look.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasmafire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.